Yesterday, which was a beautiful day here in the Delaware Valley, Stan and I went to a birthday party for our great niece, Juliana, who is now 5. And if you saw her, she would say, "I'm five." Those of you who have been around more than 5 years here at Mary Magdalene may remember praying for Juliana when she was born, somewhat prematurely at 3.5 pounds. She spent the first couple of months of her life between the neonatal intensive care unit at Doylestown Hospital and Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Still small for her age, Juliana, who absolutely adores dinosaurs and unicorns, thoroughly enjoys birthday parties. What was observed yesterday could best be described as pure, unadulterated joy, energy emanating from Juliana's petite frame from the moment she leapt into my arms as I walked down the path toward the picnic pavilion. Toward the end of today's gospel, we hear that people brought their children to Jesus and the disciples scolded them. And when Jesus saw this, he was indignant and said, "Let the little children come to me. Don't stop them." So what might that phrase, welcoming the kingdom like a little child, mean? And I question, does it even apply to the children when they've consumed massive amounts of pizza and cake in excess? Because the overall tenor in the space gets very loud. You know, it's true that Jesus's teachings are revolutionary. He subverted both cultural and legal norms about women and children. And although the canonical readings today, when I first read them, I thought, not a great day to preach, but you have to sit with them to get to the ultimate message. And you know, I think that that's true. Jesus was way ahead of his time. He was okay saying, hey, the law says this about divorce. I say men and women are equal. I mean, think about that. Thousands of years later, where are we? There's still a great disparity in many sectors. So recognizing in the ancient world, when men held all the power, Jesus consciously elevated those at the bottom of the social ladder, the people with few rights and no social status, women and children. Jesus let the Pharisees know that women possess equal rights in all domains, including divorce. Powerless, dependent, vulnerable, curious, with a sense of wonder. These are the attributes that Jesus points to when he holds up the children as the model for wisdom. And if you don't have like a 5-year-old that will run to you with unadulterated joy, please find one. Others will lend them to you. It's an amazing feeling. And you know what? I think we should have that feeling even as we grow into older bodies. 2,000 years later, I think the question for us today is, how do we reconcile this welcoming message with the reality that even our church sometimes continues to resist opening its arms and viewing all people as equals? I decided if I attempted to answer that, my message would get very negative. So I kind of turned a little bit. And one way that I do that is by finding and focusing on what feeds me. Today, that equates to Francis of Assisi. Born in 1181. So just think about that in terms of the context of history. He's known as the patron saint of animals, ecology, and peacemaking. Lots of colorful stories can be told about Francis, who started the Franciscan order and the Four Clares. But I want to share with you my favorite Francis story, as recorded by Mirabai Starr in her book, St. Francis of Assisi, Brother of Creation. During the Fifth Crusade in 1219, right, so let's go back in time, when Francis was 38 years old, he traveled from Italy to the city of Damietta in Egypt for an audience with the Sultan of Egypt, Malik al-Kamil. All right, so just to give you a sense, the distance from Assisi in Italy, south across the Mediterranean to North Africa, we're probably talking about roughly walking from here to Las Vegas. It would take a while, right? Even today. Francis's intent was to convert the Sultan to Christianity. The Sultan, Malik al-Kamil, had spent his life immersed in the mystical teachings of Islam and instantly recognized in Francis the spirit of a fellow Sufi. The Sultan's objective was to have Francis embrace Islam. And here's a conversation, at least a synopsis of the conversation. As-salamu alaykum, the Sultan said to the friar when Francis entered his tent. The peace of God be upon you. Alaykum as-salam, Francis answered, as he had been instructed, and may his peace be with you. Francis knelt before Malik. Tell me about your faith, the Sultan said. I want to know everything about that which lights a heart such as yours on fire. Francis spoke. He spoke in a rush of passion and joy, anguish and acceptance, and Malik listened. I didn't realize he was being called now, but I set that up. He listened with gratitude and respect, with amazement and amusement. And at last the Sultan whispered, La ilaha illallah, to which the friar echoed, there is no God but God. Muhammadah Rasulullah, Malik added, and Muhammad is his messenger. Francis smiled and said, and Jesus is his word made flesh. The Sultan burst out laughing, pulled the poor man of Assisi close to him, and hugged him first on the left and then on the right. I'm afraid today is not my day to become a Christian, Malik said. Though your religion is beautiful. Nor will I convert to Islam, Francis said, though your prophet seems to understand the teachings of my Lord. Thank you for the gift of your wisdom, the Sultan said to the friar. And now I grant you safe passage. You are always welcome to come and speak to my people of your faith. Pray for me, Brother Francis. Now, you might remember how the Fifth Crusade ended, but let's just say the Christians did not win. To this day, though, the encounter between Malik and Francis is considered a remarkable moment of interfaith dialogue during a time of immense warfare. Where are they now? May our actions always be driven by curiosity, wonder, and joy.